Last week, California Governor Newsom released preliminary guidelines before the state eventually reopens. While he didn't provide a timeline, other states are considering reopening as well. Plus, in a testy exchange with reporters, President Trump claimed he alone has the power to reopen the nation rather than the governors. We'll look at this possible reopening and we'll detail actions you can take to restore our rights even as we continue in COVID-19 lockdown. In an odd scenario, the media ended up schooling the president regarding the powers delegated to him and those left to the states. One reporter even cited the 10th Amendment, and USA Today did a follow-up on that amendment. And it's not every day that you see USA Today doing this, even though the media should be helping constituents keep their elected officials accountable by reporting on instances of constitutional infringement or usurpation. Now, we know things are getting crazy out there. We hear from members and staff about some of the most egregious, including in Los Angeles, where they're starting to reward tipsters for turning in their neighbors who are not following the draconian lockdown measures. In fact, Riverside County actually has a smartphone app to do this. So although a handful of states are preparing plans to reopen, citizens are starting to protest. According to a Breitbart live feed on Facebook, thousands in Michigan showed up in their vehicles at the Capitol building in Lansing to protest Governor Whitmer. From the live feed, there was not a police presence in the streets, with only a few officers standing in front of the building. Republican Speaker of the House Lee Chatfield was interviewed and said that the people are being heard loud and clear regarding the state's response. He said that the state must change the way it is responding to the pandemic. A much smaller protest occurred in North Carolina, with one being arrested for not social distancing. Two protests were organized within 2 weeks of each other at the State House in Columbus, Ohio. News reports claim about 100 people showed up for each. Other protests and rallies are being planned, including one in Wisconsin on April 24th, the day the lockdown order originally expires. Americans are very ready for their states to reopen, and the response from state legislators has been mixed. Some legislatures are dominated by a party that is too wrapped up in flattening the curve, which means continuing the lockdown instead of protecting the God-given rights of citizens. According to CNBC, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo said this about the reopening, that the state will determine which groups of businesses are essential to the economy and which companies are able to protect employees and the public from further spreading the virus. Now, if history is any judge, then we know a state-managed economy will not be run well, likely with many shortages and lopsided supply chains. Government shouldn't be trying to manage the economy one bit. It needs to get out of the way of entrepreneurs who are best suited for making those critical decisions for their businesses, their employees, and their customers. On the other side of the country is an example of state legislators that are more than willing to help protect rights and health. One in particular is Washington State Representative Matt Shea. He posted on his Facebook page, "I think this is critical to understand," he said. "The emergency power of the governor is not unlimited. It is the legislator's job to convene and provide oversight in this extraordinary time. It is a duty, not a strategy. Just like Congress is required to convene when a state of emergency is declared, we have a duty as well." Representative Shea is 100% correct. The legislatures have a job to do. So I got to ask, how are your state legislators performing in this area? Here in Wisconsin, the legislature met in an extraordinary session last week. Their focus was addressing the federal money coming in from the stimulus bill. They view this as throwing citizens a lifeline first before working on getting the state reopened. As you can imagine, many Americans are not willing to participate in their own country's demise, and lawsuits are being filed. 4 Michigan residents are suing the governor on the basis that their First and Fifth Amendment rights are being violated. And families of prisoners who have died of COVID-19 infection while incarcerated are suing states, including Illinois, Texas, and Oregon. And the National Rifle Association is suing states to get gun stores reopened as essential businesses. And so far, the NRA has had mixed results. And so far, no order has been lifted due to a protest, rally, or other lawsuits. So this tells us that our best avenue of action continues to be with those in state government. With the lockdown, it seems emails and phone calls are either not being monitored or they are slow in responding. However, legislators that have social media accounts are rather active on them, especially on Facebook and Twitter. To help you reach them, our legislative alerts offer an opportunity to share your message via email, phone call, Facebook, Twitter, and via a 30-second video. You'll find legislative alerts for both state and federal officials at jbs.org/COVID-19, with no hyphen in COVID-19. There you can access the latest alerts, articles, and videos that you can utilize to inform yourself and others. Plus, we also have the link to our special report on COVID-19 from the New American. The PDF file is free, so please share it far and wide, and then use it as a recruiting tool, and ask others to do so as well. Let's make freedom the cure of not only this lockdown, but of the virus itself. These are just some easy ways that you can take to stay active. May we count on you? So until next time, this is Bill Hahn for the John Birch Society saying, stay active, everyone.